Hi, welcome to Reverse Duo, a video series where we swap old interests and force them on each other. I'm Doom the Tidon.
I'm Talia Danger Buff.
And this is Reverse Duo. Alright, I gave you Taggerung.
Right.
No, I can't ask you those yet. You have asked me the...
Alright. So, how long ago, or how old were you when you read Taggerung?
Taggerung, I think I read most of the Redwell books during junior high. How old are you in junior high? Like 7th grade, 8th grade. How old are you? Like 13?
Maybe.
13, 12?
Maybe.
I was 13/14.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna say 13.
Okay.
Okay. And now I have to give a plot summary because it's been years since I read this book. So, you want a detailed plot summary or just the basic story?
Whatever you can remember. Give it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna do the basic story is Redwell lore aside. The Taggerung is assuming you've read the other books, which I love about Brian Jacques, the writer. So there's this otter that was abducted and kidnapped by a horde of vermin, which is their code for rats, weasels, ferrets, stoats, foxes. I totally forgot they were considered vermin.
They're considered vermin.
Which I don't agree with, but whatever. He's kidnapped by this horde, raised as their own because of some prophecy, and because of the inherent goodness in him as an otter, he rises up against his kidnappers, and they're right mad about it, so they go attack Redwall, which was his original home, but the whole time he's on an adventure of self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it kind of is a self-discovery story. And that's the basic plot. I don't know what it says on the back as, like, a synopsis. Oh, it's just his face.
It's just his face.
Like, okay, in the front. What's the synopsis? Because, hold on, I don't remember specific plots. Like, because it's basically a...
Okay, so it's basically what you said. In which the otter Taggerung, having discovered that he is too pure of heart to live and fight beside the vermin clan who raised him, embarks on a journey to find his true home and family.
Oh, but yeah, by the way, the main character's name is Taggerung.
Tag.
Or Tag. And they named him Taggerung because of something in a prophecy. Yeah. I do remember something of a prophecy about a baby with a certain deformity on his paw would be, like, the future leader of their tribe or whatever.
I'll get into that.
Yeah, and you can sit there and seethe for a second while I try to remember what the fuck happened in this book. One thing I do remember about the book that actually stayed with me for some reason is that on his Taggerung's travels, he finds this band of, I think they were voles?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were voles.
Wait,
and they had this tradition.
Oh, no, you're talking about the pygmy... You're talking about the pygmy mice. They weren't voles.
They were pygmy mice?
They were pygmy mice. He does meet voles, but they were pygmy mice, the one that you're talking about.
Oh, okay. And they lived in this cave,
right?
And they had they had this tradition to, like, run under the stalagmite, or the water was dripping from the ceiling in a particular spot, and they had to, like, run underneath it. All members in a line would run underneath this, and if they got hit with the water, which is, like, one of them a night, they would sacrifice themselves to, like, the water beast that was living in that cave, and that was to try to help save them. And Taggerung saw that and went, "Ah, hell no, I got a knife and I'm a water beast myself, so I'm gonna go kick some ass." And he does, and they eat it for, like, dinner or whatever. Am I completely wrong?
A little bit, but you got it well enough that I knew what you were talking about. I'm pretty sure they were pygmy mice.
I don't...
Because they were teeny tiny. I remember that.
But then he's an otter.
Yeah, so...
He's freaking huge, because I love it in Redwall, each creature is the same size as they are in nature. At least it's implied that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not exact, because the mice live in Redwall Abbey, yet there's a badger that also lives with them all the time, and badgers are freaking huge.
Yeah, it says somewhere in the book that they have double doors. So it's like a big door, and then on the inside there's a smaller door.
No, double doors means there's two that open up.
Oh, well, they said it wasn't a double door, but it was. It said that the badger mom grabbed her doorknob and the other one grabbed their doorknob. Like, it was a smaller door.
That's really cute. I
That's
didn't
connected
remember that.
to the big one. So
See,
someone else can open up their small door, but then there's a bigger door for the other bigger creatures to open.
That's adorable. I did not remember that.
Yeah.
Well, it's because when I read these books, I was fresh off the animated series.
Yes.
So I had that image in my brain
the animated series.
when I was reading this, and I was having a really hard time because I was just, wait a minute.
So, why did you read Redwall series?
Redwall series, I read them because they were good, but I also read them because the school was forcing us to read books all the time. Yeah, sure. I thought, great, an excuse to read my favorite series, but I would get in trouble a lot because Redwall apparently is a 3rd grade level reading, and I was in 7th. I was in 7th grade.
This is 3rd grade?
Yeah.
Holy crap, I was having problems reading it. I'm not in school anymore.
I know!
Where's the age restriction on this?
He has no age restriction, which is beautiful. He writes for people to read, not for age groups.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't... When you were reading it and talking about it, I was like, oh, I want to talk about this, but I'm going to save it. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, what did you have to talk about? Because I was realizing... I did not remember. Yeah, she has notes.
I have notes. I knew I was going to forget.
That's going to be the thumbnail, just pages.
Just pages everywhere.
Yeah, that's going to be your half of the thumbnail. Just pages everywhere. I remember, here's what I remember. It was well written, an easy read for me once I got into it.
Well, this wasn't the first book you read from him.
Yeah. This isn't yours either. You read, Legend of Luke and whatever.
I haven't read that one. I read Mossflower.
Oh, you read Mossflower.
That one, to me, was really easy to read.
I think Martin the Warrior
I think it's because
I
watched the Martin the Warrior show, and then I read Martin the Warrior, and then I read Mossflower, and I haven't read Redwall, but I know the story.
Yeah, Martin the Warrior, I think, is the best written book. The Bellmaker's second. You can fight me on that. Martin the Warrior is better than the Bellmaker. Anyway, I remember liking it. It was a good story. I surprisingly, despite all my years of reading Redwall, I have never drawn fan art. But for Warriors, I have my own fan comic coming. And I have more problems and complaints about Warriors than I do about Redwall.
Maybe that's why you're doing all that, because you have more complaints. So you want to make it better, so you're doing your own stuff.
Well, yeah, that's why I started my series, but I draw fan art of things I like, and I've never drawn fan art of Redwall.
I have to sneeze.
Turn away from the mic. It'll blow us out.
Well, it just left. It got shy.
Even your sneezes are shy.
It'll hit me later when I'm talking.
Okay, now it's my turn to ask questions, because I think I'm done.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't feel like I have to sneeze.
I got tissues over here. Just blow.
Yeah. It left again.
Okay, anyway, Oi. Computer fell asleep. What was... Okay, it's still recording. I guess I shouldn't ask what was your favorite part first. Just to start off, good book or bad book?
Good book.
All right, let's.
Sorry, God, my body is just failing me today.
You know what? Just go sneeze, and then we'll come back.
It's gone, but my eyes are still what? Okay, I think I'm good.
You good now?
Yeah. All right, I'm good.
All right, talk us through your journey reading this book, because I remember watching you reading this. You were having a time.
Oh, was I? Okay, so
Bust out the notes.
the
You're sitting there on the couch going, ugh, like, first 5 chapters, and I'm telling you, it gets better, it gets better.
yeah.
That's side tangent. That's the thing with Ryan Jacques and Redwall. It gets better, I promise. Once you get past the first part, which is just the introductory and introducing the characters, and then the adventure starts, and then it's a nonstop read. At least for me it was. Anyway, so this is about you now.
So, like Rachel said, the first bit is about the otter being kidnapped. That's like the first 5 chapters of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I better mute my phone.
oh, yeah, you should probably do that. So the leader of the clan gets like
Of the
of the
evil horde.
yeah.
Basically.
They have the
What was their name?
Jessica.
Wait, let me see.
Jessica, and then Wrath, because Wrath was
Sunni Wrath.
yeah. Sunni Wrath was their leader.
Wait, that's
so...
Sani.
Sani
Sawny.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know how to pronounce anything, because when I read, I just make up sounds.
I just kind of, yeah. That person.
Just that person. So, the leader has a vision.
Well, the leader, his soothsayer has a vision.
I totally forgot. She was a fox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says that the next Taggerung, because Taggerung was their strongest warrior.
Their champion.
So their next champion was going to be born soon. They were going to have a weird birthmark on their paw that looked like kind of like a lotus flower. It was something like that.
A lotus flower? Or
a clover. There we go. A
okay.
clover. It was gonna look like a clover.
Kind of generic, but okay.
Yeah. It's a very specific clover thing on like the left paw, I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh.
Or was it the right? Anyway, on one of his paws, he was gonna have a flower. So they were going around trying to find like where exactly it was going to be, and then the fox gets another vision that it was going to be near or at Redwall. So they start moving towards Redwall, and then they find Danaea, which is, spoiler alert, Taggerung.
His real name is Danaea.
Yeah.
Why do they need a Taggerung? Or is it just...
It's just, if Wrath didn't get the Taggerung, another clan would get the Taggerung, and he was just going to be their strongest warrior.
So Taggerung is just like a trophy name.
Yeah, it's a trophy name.
See, I had like some idea like they needed Taggerung to battle other hordes, and the Taggerung was like the prophecy child.
They would use him to battle the others and gain more control, because if someone heard that the Taggerung was going to be fighting, normally they would just give up, because Swanee? Yeah.
I don't know.
His dad was the Taggerung, and his name was feared everywhere.
So he's kind of like the Achilles.
I guess.
Like, oh, Achilles is fighting? Holy crap.
I better surrender.
The Germans are coming. Anyway, so they need Taggerung. You have a lot of notes there, so I just...
Oh, I was just taking quick little notes of each chapter just to, like, remind me.
Oh, I thought you were, like, had questions or points.
Oh, no, I was just writing little things. It helps me remember. So...
Like, what was, like, one part that really stood out to you? Not necessarily your favorite part, but one part that's just, like, still in your brain.
I have a lot that are still in my brain. Like, well, let me just go, like, to the plot. You said the main plot was Tag finding his family and everything, but there was, like, a subplot where Redwall didn't have an abbess. Or an abbot.
I totally forgot Redwall had a subplot.
Yeah, see, Craiga, the Badger Mom, she was, like...
Acting abbess?
Acting abbess. But she hadn't appointed an abbess. Because the last abbess was a good friend of hers, so Craiga just got the job because she was basically next in line. Craiga's, like, older than dinosaurs.
Does Craiga have pink eyes in this one?
She's blind.
Yeah, but does she have pink eyes?
I don't know, it just says she's blind.
Excuse you.
Anyway, so...
Because I remember this Craiga, or in one of the books, the Badger Mum was a character from a different book. The Long Patrol.
Yeah, this is the Badger Mum from the Long Patrol.
Yeah, because she had pink eyes, but then, because that was like a sign of her rage or madness. I'm gonna can you shut the door real
I'll
quick?
shut the door.
And that was like, her rage became her downfall, and she became blind, and then moved into Redwall Abbey, and is now a woman of peace.
Yeah, she lost her eyes in battle.
Yeah, which I didn't read the Long Patrol. I read half of it, got bored.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna like it because I love the way Brian Jacques writes rabbit characters. Or hares. They're so funny.
Yeah.
But Basil wasn't in this book, and I'm just, oh.
Yeah, I did not like the hair in this book.
Basil stuck hair.
I loved Basil, but I did not like this one. Oh my god, he's so annoying. That's the one character, like, I absolutely hate.
Was he, like, overtly British?
No! I just did not like him. Just the way he's written, I just...
The other problem with Brian Jacques, and it's something I admire, he phonetically writes out accents.
Oh, no, I don't... Okay, well...
When it comes to the moles, because the moles, I think, are broad Scottish.
When I first saw
and he
the
writes
hedgehog...
it out. It's just, oh my god.
So the first, like, other language that I got was hedgehogs, and I was like, oh god. And then I was like, it can't get any worse, right? I was wrong! I saw the moles.
Aren't the hedgehogs supposed to be Irish, though?
I think so.
So it's like, once you get the idea, oh, this is an Irish accent,
then
he's just phonetically writing it out. Then you can, that was Scottish, but anyway.
Yeah, that was...
I can't do accents.
There's also a lot of riddles in this book.
Oh yeah, there are always riddles. What was the riddle in this one?
It was a riddle to find the new abbess or abbot.
And it was an abbess.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Tag's sister. His older sister becomes the next abbess, which I thought was interesting.
Right. Because Taggerung was after Redwall and Matameo.
Yeah.
Redwall is, He wrote these books way out of order. So, which is fine. But when you're trying to find everything chronologically, it is a pain in the ass. Because it's like, oh yeah, this is the first book he ever wrote, but it's in the middle of the series, and then he wrote this book, but then he went back and wrote this book, and it just didn't make any sense either way.
One of the characters, he's a Skrull, his name is Broggle.
Wait, a squirrel?
A squirrel.
You said Skrull for a second.
Squirrel. Yeah, I said squirrel again. He's a very chubby squirrel, and he's the chef assistant, and he has a crush on this very beautiful squirrel, and when I read that, I was like, you go, Broggle!
You
like,
go, man!
Yay!
Oh yeah, Brian Jacques is a master of writing cute little side romances, because they're just so adorable.
Okay, so, this is a side tangent. I had to write this down. There is a type of fish called a burbot.
Yeah.
Holy crap, they are scary. They ate a fox. Like,
oh my, wait. What do these motherfuckers look like?
So,
wrong button.
When Tag left...
Okay, how do you spell it?
Burbot. When
Burbot fish.
When Tag left, it pissed off the leader. obviously.
Why am I in Yahoo? But
Look
oh my
how
god,
big they are. So anyway, a group of the
Looks
warriors.
like a catfish.
Yeah, they have sharp teeth though. So anyway, a group of the warriors went to go after Tag, and he, of course, is traveling by the water because obviously he's an otter, and yeah, they get attacked by the vermin get attacked by these burbot fish, and it kills 3 of this like 7 vermin that were on the thing. I kept like writing down when each of the members had died, just like to make a mental note. It's like, yep, there's one more dead.
Oh yeah, the death toll in these books are always pretty high. I want to somehow read all the books and make a tally of all the all the kills and all the deaths in the book, and say which one has the most and least. Right off the top of my head, of all the deaths, I think Martin the Warrior has the least deaths, but all of them were meaningful and impactful. Anyway, so yeah, go on.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, I was just reading that, and at first when I heard that fish were biting them, I was like, oh, like piranha type size fish, because piranhas are kind of small.
Yeah.
And then they started freaking out and they were swimming away, and I was like, okay, why are they swimming from these tiny fish that are biting them? And then I just read that one of the foxes got eaten, and I was like, holy crap, how big are these fish? And yeah, they're huge. I'm terrified of fish now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I thought they were these small fish, but no.
If river monsters wasn't enough incentive, there you go.
Yeah.
These fuckers ate a fox.
So another thing, Tag, he just makes friends with every creature he meets. Like,
yeah.
When he first meets the voles, one of the voles comes out and is like going to attack him because he's standing on their home, and they're very protective. And he just is standing there. He's like, I'm just standing here minding my own business, eating these pears. And the bull's like, you're eating our pears, standing on our house. I'm gonna kill you for that. And then Tag just like flips the bull, and he's just like, you good? And the bull's just laying on the ground, and he's like, patting down his clothes and everything. And he's like, I'm gonna invite you to dinner. That's like his interaction with all of the creatures he meets. He beats them up. Well, not really. He beats them in the fight, and then they're best buds for the rest of the thing, and I love it.
Oh my god. It's a shonen anime.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you this,
What?
because it was out of order. Why haven't you read the book prior to this?
I don't know. I was reading other things, doing other things.
At the time I was reading Redwall, you were,
So you said junior high? I was probably still in elementary.
I think you were still homeschooled, actually.
I could have been, yeah.
But then, like, I would recommend these books to you later, and you were going, it was, middle school, and then later junior high. I think you were in a spot.
I don't know. Like I said, I read Mossflower, and...
But you read Mossflower relatively recently, like, you were in high school, right?
I've read Mossflower a lot, because that was the only one that I had. So I would just look at it, it's like, I remember Martin the Warrior, I want to read this one again. So I just read it, like, over and over and over, but I can't remember, like, certain details, because it was so long ago.
I haven't read Mossflower, but I know the main gist because it connects Martin the Warrior to Redwall Abbey.
Yeah. I just liked the read. It was a good read. For that one. For this
one, for Taggerung. Let's stay on Taggerung. Let's try.
Back to the book.
Back to the book. Okay, did you have a favorite part?
I did.
Anything? Or a favorite character? How about that?
My favorite character? I mean, I'd say Tag, because obviously. But I really liked his friend, Nambalu. He was a field mouse.
Nambalo.
Nambalu. He was a little field mouse.
Oh.
So, the small friend, he called himself, what did he call himself? Hang on a minute. Nambalu the Terror, I think?
Consult the pages.
The Slayer. There we go.
The Slayer.
Nambalu the Slayer.
I love Brian Jacques' quirk for writing small but fierce characters. That's why I love the shrews so much.
Oh, I loved it. Maybe they were pygmy shrews.
No, then they would have been teeny tiny.
Yeah, they were tiny.
Did they have a weird accent?
I think so, yeah.
The pygmy shrews had an almost indecipherable accent.
They lived in a cave, and they were really small, because I remember when Tag and Nimble first met him, Nimble was like, they're so small, just kick them away. And Tag was like, yeah, but there's like 150 of them. If I do that, they'll jump me. So, yeah, I think they were really tiny. I think they were shrews. Because they really liked Nimble's golden fur. So if they were pygmy mice, they would have the same fur.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
and
so-
field mice have golden colories.
And he was smaller than the other mice, but he wasn't like tiny.
So would you say the reason why you like Taggerung, he's not like a himbo, but he's definitely the jock with a heart of gold stereotype.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jock with a heart of gold. Most of the otters are.
Mm-hmm.
They're jocks, but they're kind.
I kind of like the otters. I think the otters are like my favorite.
You would love the Bellmaker.
Does
Main
that have
character's an
otters?
otter. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or and you would also to read the Bellmaker, I would suggest reading Muriel of Redwall first, and then the Bellmaker, and then definitely Pearls of Lutra. I recommend the entire series. Except Long Patrol and Marl Fox. I wanted to like Marl Fox, but I couldn't. Anyway, for Taggerung, because we have to stay on track for
So
Taggerung.
I have a favorite character.
Okay.
Which starts with Nimble and then goes to Tag.
Okay.
I also have my two least favorite characters.
Oh yeah, let's talk about them.
All right. So the first least favorite character is Grooven. He is another vermin, from the clan.
What was his species?
Stoat.
Yeah.
I had to think about that. Sorry. So
Is he his childhood rival?
basically,
Or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Grooven his mom thought
He's grooving.
he's Grooven. So his mom thought he was supposed to be the Taggerung.
Oh yeah, his mom was a rotten bitch.
Oh yeah, I hated her. I was
You
so
know-
glad when she died.
Oh yeah, a lot. Don't worry about any characters you hate in any Redwall book.
They
if
most
you
likely
hate,
will die.
if they are overtly dislikable, they will die.
Except for the one that I don't like, but I didn't want him to die. I just didn't like him.
Well, there's a
Well, yeah.
difference between being unlikable and just plain annoying.
He was annoying. Oh my gosh, that's okay. Focus on Grooven. So basically, Grooven's only character traits is asshole and coward.
Wasn't he also really, really dumb?
Oh yeah, he's so stupid.
Oh yeah, his dad was really dumb too.
His dad was dumb. Grooven actually had a different name, and then Swanee killed his dad, and he's like, "All right, your kid is now going to be named after your father because he was such a disgrace." Basically, so
It was like a reminder to.
it was a reminder to her that
and everyone.
and everyone that Grooven would never be
The Taggerung.
the Taggerung,
Yeah.
and he never was.
You know, I'm realizing the mom is basically like the, she's not a Karen, but she's basically like that mom that wanted to be in beauty pageants, so she's forcing her child to be in
yeah.
beauty pageants and competitions and whatever. Because she was never good enough, or she never did that.
And then my second least favorite character is Burab. He was the rabbit, the hare.
Burab?
Burab.
In order to help pronounce these names, you have to acquire an English accent, and if that doesn't work, try like Irish just a European accent. In order to...
I'm sorry, it's just the way he was written. I don't like. So you know how I think it's a thing where hares are basically gluttons. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, in the story, hares are gluttons.
Okay, so I didn't mind that he was always trying to like eat stuff from the kitchen and being a nuisance like that. I didn't really mind that.
Was he like the fat person stereotype that's always talking about food and burping and whatever?
He was always talking about food and he was always doing stuff like that, but he wasn't burping or anything. He was very fit.
That's probably why he was so hungry.
Yeah, he was very fit. And, you know, how rabbits have a whole bunch of energy, so he's bouncing all around and everything.
Yeah.
But God, he was annoying!
Anything particular that you remember, like Like, what was his, like, archetype, or...
I don't know, but see, the Badger Mom would call him out on his shit, like, stop eating everything in the kitchen. You were still on rations until I trusted. And he's like, oh, but I'm so hungry, and it's not gonna be food until like tomorrow. Can I just have a bite? And then the Otter Mom, their mom, what was her name?
Main character's mother.
yeah.
Bless her soul.
Bless her soul, but she shouldn't be catering to him.
I think she was catering to him because she missed her son.
Well, yeah.
Her husband was murdered and her baby boy was kidnapped. She didn't know he was kidnapped.
The thing, they never found either of the bodies.
So yeah, they just disappeared.
Never had the
so yeah, that's why that's why I excused her for catering to this asshole.
But because God, I hated him so much. Because I know people that are like this character, and I hate them. That's why I was just seething with anger every time I skipped all of his lines. Every time I saw that it ended with what, I skipped it. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not reading you. But he did help the squirrel because he had a very bad stutter. So he fixed that. Which was nice.
He told him to sing, right?
Yeah, he told him to sing everything, and then it would help him not stutter or...
I do remember that, but I thought that was in a different book.
That was this book.
Okay. A lot of them blur.
Yeah.
Let's try to move on here. Would you read the book again?
Probably. I probably wouldn't skip Boo Rab's lines. I'd try to read them, but half of them are about food, and I just can't. But
I don't remember particularly hating Boo Rab, but I guess it was because I just wanted Basil back.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, he did help Redwall in a really big way, so I give him that.
Would you recommend it to anyone, and who would you recommend it to? Like, would you say this book is not for everyone, or would you say that anyone can read it?
You know, I don't know. Because I liked it, but I said I would read it again, but I probably won't. It's just one of those things that, oh yeah,
it's
I
like you would, but
I would
you
read
won't.
it, but I won't read it again.
Not anytime soon.
I mean,
right?
I'll read like my favorite chapters, obviously, but that's just about it. Would I recommend it to anyone? Probably. Like if I saw someone reading another Redwall book, or if they're talking about something similar, I'd be like, hey, you should check this out, because it seems like something you would read.
Yeah. Redwall is definitely the series you should read when you're young.
Yeah.
When you're in middle school to junior high, read the Redwall series. And then when you're older, you can reread it for nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know if I picked up any of the Redwall books I have, I would love it because I have the nostalgia for it. But if an adult tried to read Redwall, they might struggle with it.
Like I did.
So, yeah. And then there's a question for both of us. Would we watch the movie? Like, if they made Taggerung the movie.
Oh my god, I would cry.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of sad bits in this. I remember being very... I remember when in the first book, it's like chapter 2, the father dies.
Yeah.
Taggerung's father gets murdered, protecting his baby boy from the horde, and I was just, oh my god, the book did not give you any time to grieve. You're just, he's dead, let's move on. It's just, oh my god.
Because he was gathering food.
Yeah, he was...
And he turns around and gets an arrow straight through him. And I was like, he's dead, what the fuck? I thought he was gonna, like, go back to Redwall, but no.
No, just boom, dead.
Yeah, boom, dead, moving on. Is it weird that when it says that they're running, I imagine them, like, on all fours?
No, because in other books, I don't remember which one it was, where it does describe some of the animals can walk on 2 legs and run on 2 legs, but if they need to get somewhere fast, they go down on all 4s.
Yeah, because I just imagine, so, Danae gets sent to a healer because he also gets an arrow to the chest, but he's just like, I gotta kill people, so I'm not gonna...
He's too angry to die.
Yeah, because the last words that the Bow Beast, which is the one that killed his dad, hears is, for my father.
Oh my
and he
Jesus.
slices his head off with Martin's sword, runs after another,
Wait, he has Martin's sword?
He has Martin's sword. Oh, yeah, so Danae goes to Redwall because he finally finds out that...
Danae Taggerung.
Yeah, Tag goes to Redwall because he finally finds out, hey, that's the dreams that I've been having. The nice red brick room that I was in. Why we moved so quickly after I was taken. So he starts going to Redwall
Because he had dreams.
He kept having dreams of Martin.
Right, I forgot. Yeah, Martin's spirit basically became Jesus.
They kept in the when we were in Redwall, they kept saying, "Hey, we don't have a champion. Like, we need our own champion."
Yeah,
and
because like the Horde. While the Horde has their Taggerung, Redwall has their champion because they are an abbey. But everyone at the abbey recognizes that sometimes you need to fight,
right,
and defend yourself, which I love.
Yeah,
I love the Redwall ideology.
So Tag's finally on his way to Redwall, and some vermin are already there, and Tag has these tattoos.
Oh yeah,
that are the clan tattoos.
That are impossible to get rid of.
Yeah, 2 of the Redwall babies fell from the wall because they were doing a race.
Oh.
So they were up on the wall after, and no one was paying attention because they were cheering the one who won. And both of them fell. Another creature found them, and then the vermin killed that creature. You know, so it's just I was like, oh hey, this creature looks weird. Never mind, he's dead. Moving on.
Wait, what was the creature? How is it described? Because
he had like no fur. So they were describing him like as a naked mole, but he wasn't a mole. He was like a rat, I think.
A naked mole rat.
But he wasn't a mole. But anyway,
the creature appears for like 2 seconds and then dies.
Yeah. So they were going to use the babies as a bargain to get Taggerung because they thought that Tag was in Redwall already.
Oops.
They didn't know that he was just up in the mountain minding his own business.
They didn't know that he didn't know his origins because there's a lot of guilt in child theft.
Because they went up one side of the mountain where it was all snowy, and Tag went up the other side where it was all spring, and he's like, "It's nice up here, I like it." And they're like, freezing. They're like, "There's no way he's over here." So 2 of them went to Redwall, and the rest of them stayed because they just left them. They're like, "Yeah, they're slowing us down. Let's just leave."
Oh yeah, there's always the 2 idiots of the group that get left behind, or like the comic relief.
Yeah, so Reuben was one of them that was left. Oh, it was so funny. So, so Tag is finally on his way to Redwall. Him and Nimblu are scouting around. Oh, before that, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So Nimblu, the reason why he left is because his father was abusive. And he never knew his mom because his mom most likely left.
Or died.
Yeah. So his dad was like a drunk and everything. And they were going with some other, I think they were voles. Yeah. So there was some voles, and they were going to take them to Redwall. And Nimblu was getting all upset about something. And it turns out they were really close to his old farm.
Oh,
so when they went, so Nimblu could say, "Hey, I'm not a failure. I've made a name for myself. I'm traveling. I'm doing my own thing."
He was confronting his abuser. I love it.
They get there, and they find him dead.
Oh my god.
I was pissed. I was like, "Oh my god, Tag, when you catch up to Grooven and the other 2, let Nimblu kill the one that killed his father, please." Because they killed him with his own axe.
Oh, Jesus. I keep forgetting how, like, graphic and just how gut-punching these books are. So, audience, if you love animals, and if you... No. Okay, if you like anthro animals, and you like action, adventure, kind of like D&D style campaign stories, I hate to bring that up, but...
Read these books.
Read these books. They're so good. They do not talk down to their audience. They expect Brian Jacques expects his audience to be intelligent and well-read, like to know what he's talking about. And if you don't know what he's talking about, literally Google it and then, get educated. This book forces you to get educated.
Yeah. So Tag
and also have a tissue box nearby because reading Matameo.
Gosh, I cried.
I was bawling my eyes out. Anyway.
So anyway, Tag and Nimble finally get to Redwall, and they're looking at the Abbey walls. They're like, wow.
Yeah.
So they decide to split up and go around just to like scout the area.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't know that the other vermins had already were shooting the wall top.
Oh, they had already laid siege.
Yeah. So when Tag's walking around, looking around, he's like pushing on some of the doors to see can I get in and scout the inside, see what's up. And some of the Redwallers are watching. They're like, he has even more tattoos than the other ones. He must be their most feared warrior or something. Which he technically was.
He technically was.
So they're like, oh, let's unlock one of the gates, and when he pops his head in, we'll knock him out and capture him, and then we'll use him as a ransom.
Were they the kids saying this?
No, it was
because that sounds like something a kid would say.
It was a squirrel, because they had shot his quote-unquote girlfriend, the one that had a crush. I can't remember her names. And then so it was the Bellmaker, because he also got shot. It was the squirrel. Oh, no, not the Bellmaker. The tower dude who's the
bell ringer.
The bell ringer?
Yeah.
No, the great gate. The gatekeeper. Oh my god, he was the gatekeeper. The squirrel who, not the squirrel who got shot, but she got shot, so he was pissed. And then someone else.
The fat chef.
Yeah, the fat chef.
The fat chef.
He was chubby. The chubby chef.
The chubby chef.
I mean, you're a chef, so you're gonna be tasting your food. So yeah, if you're just in the kitchen, you're gonna get a little pudgy.
I loved it. Yeah, I love Redwall always has a chubby chef, and I'm here for it all the time.
So anyway, it was 3. So they unlocked one of the gates. I think the other one was a mole. He was just upset about everything. He's like, you know what? We're just gonna capture this menacing vermin. And
it was like, oh wait, he's an otter.
They didn't know that because of how his tattoos were. They couldn't tell what type of species he was.
Which is odd, because usually you can, well, at least I think you can tell the difference between an otter and, a ferret or whatever.
Yeah, but they weren't really... You know how tall the walls are, and they're looking down and they see something with tattoos, and they're like, that's a vermin. So,
I forgot how big Redwall actually is.
Big.
It's huge. It's a castle.
Yeah, because the badger mum can stand on she can hide under the thing and stand up and still... Anyway, it's big enough for a badger to walk on it with enough space.
Well, yeah, because Redwall Abbey was originally owned by polecats.
Yeah, they are huge.
And polecats are huge, so
yeah.
And then it was later taken over by the abbey mice. Anyway, this is getting long.
I'm sorry.
So what was your thought? Where were you going with this?
So anyway, Tag gets captured, and then Nimble gets captured by the vermin.
Oops.
So the vermin are like, hey, we have one of your mice. Give us the Taggerung and we'll let him go. But they didn't know that Nimble wasn't one of the Redwallers. So, all this confusion. And then
when they were totally racist, they're like, oh, here's a mouse, you're a mice, you should care about each other, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've never met this motherfucker in my life.
The Redwallers were going to try to get Nimble back because, that's how kind they are. But anyway, they start interrogating Tag, and he says his full name is Taggerung, and they're like, Taggerung? Like, Nani? That's who they've been calling. Like, what the fuck? So they're like, oh, they said they want the Taggerung, they'll let the mouse go, and Tag starts freaking out because he knows they're talking about Nimble. Oh, so yeah, he starts banging on the door to let him out.
I do remember this bit because he busts out of the room that they're keeping him and nearly plows into his mother and says, "Oh, sorry!" and runs off.
Sorry, and runs. And
he runs off to go save her, and his mother's just sitting there like, "Oh my god!"
Because he looks so much like his dad. You can just tell the way she was reacting.
I remember, I
So-
remembered that part.
He-
That
he
really
runs.
tugged at me because that was just so cinematically beautiful.
He's running through the abbey. He sees a sword. He's just like, mine. He sees Martin, and then he sees the sword, and he's like, no time to think. I'm grabbing this. So he grabs it, runs.
Rose before hose, man.
People are running behind him, like, open the gates, let him through. And he just tears through. Like, the gate's not even open all the way, and he's like, I'm going. He runs through. They see. So I skip to the perspective of the vermin. They hear this commotion. They turn around, and the Taggerung is running at him with the sword.
With a sword.
A sword, and he kills. He gets shot. Craiga gets shot too. She gets an arrow to the chest. Craiga Badger Mum.
Did
And
she die?
She dies. Yeah, I cried.
Oh yeah.
So-
yeah. Don't get attached to any characters in Red Bull.
So Tag
Chances are they
gets
will
shot.
die.
He doesn't even stop.
He totally
get-
Boromir's it.
He gets shot once in the chest, kills the bow beast, and then chases after another creature while Nimblow's chasing after the fox that had his father's battle axe. He is
Ooh.
just chasing her. He's like, because when he first sees her, he's like, oh, that's a really nice axe. Where'd you get it? And she's like, oh, it's mine. And he's like, yeah? I'm gonna murder you with that axe. And she's like, the fuck?
This is what's wrong with this little crackhead.
So, yeah, he kills her because he comes back with the axe and he's all proud. And the other Red Bullers are like, oh, so it was a successful hunt? And he's like, oh, it was a very successful hunt.
Can you let Elias out?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he'll just be click-clacking on the floor.
Click-clacking all over the place.
So, how long have we been recording? We're pushing 50 minutes here.
I'm getting to the end.
So, okay. Let's get to there and then we'll wrap up for this part.
So the rabbit before when they're under siege runs off to get the other otters because they were like doing a vacation thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So when they're coming back,
And this is the rabbit you didn't like.
yeah. I mean, like I said, he's done really good things, and I don't hate him, but I just didn't like the way he was written. But anyway, so they're returning, and they see the glint of a sword, and they're like, oh, so they go over and see Tag, and a very, very big battlefield, like trees and limbs are like sliced because he was going after the other vermin.
Oh!
Yeah, and they see their vermin just murdered, just dead. They didn't even describe it. They said, that thing's dead. We're not even going to look at it.
Oh, that's dead.
They had, like, his spear lodged, like, into his stomach, out, like, his neck area, and then he also had, like, slash marks from the sword. He was just gone. So,
Yeah, that thing was dead. It was probably Sunni, right?
no, Sunni,
Sonny?
he dies way back before.
The main antagonist dies. How? I totally forgot how Sonny dies.
Greuven's mom kills him. She kills him with a pebble. Which really, I totally forgot about that. That was one of my favorite bits. So he's hunting Taggerung because Taggerung just leaves. And she's hiding up in a tree. And she's like, hey, Swan. And he's like, what? And pebble in the face and he's dead.
Well, yeah, if you get a pebble rolling fast enough, that
Yeah,
can kill
so-
people.
He dies, and then they send the others after the Tag to avenge their leader. I totally
She's
forgot.
like, oh yeah, he killed Sunni.
Yeah,
He killed Sonny.
Taggerung threw the knife, but it flipped around and he hit him with the butt end of the sword because it had a gem on it, which
Yeah.
would indicate why he had
A hole in his head.
So, yeah. Anyway, where was I? So, the other otters find Taggerung. They see he has the sword propped up to catch the light to indicate where he is. It's like a warrior tactic. And the other otter, he's like, it's a shame no one knew he was out here, otherwise I'm sure he would have gotten medical aid in time because they thought he was dead.
Oh.
So they're trying to pry Martin's sword, and he grabs it tighter and pulls it closer to him, and the other otter's like, holy crap, this guy's still alive! And they pick him up and they take him to Redwall, where the other two female otters, his mom and his sister, are waiting because she's like, I swear it's him. I'm like 100% sure it's my son. And they bring him back, and Nimble's like, my best friend, like, holy crap, is he dead? Because he saw.
So Taggerung killed the entire horde, right? Or did he kill half of them and the rest ran?
He killed 3. He killed 3 of them.
Confirmed killed 3 of them.
Another clan took over their clan and killed the ones that didn't.
Oh, so they're gone, right?
Most of the clan that had him is either dead or integrated into another clan.
The story's basically over at this point, right?
Right. So
it's just you're getting closure. Taggerung is finally
he's home, but he's kind of dying. He's like in a coma because they can't get the arrow out because it's too far in. So the other otters take him to an otter healer. She heals his wounds, takes the marking off of his paw, and removes his tattoos. Which
was previously thought to be impossible.
So he is now no longer Tag, but Danae, and he stays Danae. So when the other clan comes, and they're like, so the Taggerung was here, and he's like, aye, there was a Taggerung, but he left. As far as I'm concerned, he's dead.
And Danae told him that, right?
Yeah.
I love his endings. They're so beautifully wrapped up.
My favorite part. So it's been it's been months since Danae has been gone because he had to get healed. So they're coming, and the others are up on the red wall, like up on the wall waiting, and they see him coming, so they all rush out to meet him because yay, the others are home. It's happy times, and normally there's other creatures that are the faster runners, but it says in this time the fastest runners were his mom and his sister. They were running and they
outran the hares.
Danae was running, I think they said 5 leagues ahead from all of the other otters, so I just have it in my brain that the 3 of them are running on all 4s and the others are running upright.
Yeah.
Because when they finally meet, they tackle each other to the ground, and he's holding both of them in his arms to show just how big he is. He's picked both of them up.
That's good right there.
They are off the ground hugging, and then after like 2 or 3 minutes, the others finally catch up to them.
And that's how the book ends, right?
Pretty much.
With them hugging.
It actually ends with the Great Badger Lord coming to their aid when the other clan comes to attack. Because they were like, hey, this guy claims he's the Taggerung. Is that true? They're like, yeah, he's the Taggerung. He killed the Taggerung. Whatever. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So it ends with at the beginning, I'm sorry.
I got you going, didn't I?
At the beginning, it starts with the squirrel talking about how she was going to write the story.
Yeah, it always starts
with
each
someone.
Each prologue and epilogue is like the scribe talking about the story.
Well, it turns out the scribe is Broggle and
The chubby squirrel chef and his crush, they had a daughter.
They get together and have a daughter.
And she's the Redwall scribe now.
Broggle is the chief chef.
He's the chief chef.
He's the chief chef. A couple of the others were upgraded to higher status, but I was like, oh my gosh, they get together and have a child? Like, yay! That's basically how it ends.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
It's in most books, whether or not, like, your favorite character dies or whatever, he always ends the story with, this happened years ago, here's where we are now, we're doing great.
Because when it ended, I thought at first the ending was when they were hugging and he was finally home. I was like, that's how it ends, right? I have 2 more chapters? What?
Oh, yeah.
I was so confused. And then it was like, they're going to have a war with Redwall? I can't see this happening in like 3 pages back. And then it ends with the Badger Lord coming in. I was like, that's why it only took 3 pages. Yeah,
Badger Lord.
I would not want to fight 500 hares and a Badger Lord. No thanks.
That's where you have to read Salamandastrom.
Yeah,
Was that the next book or the previous book?
That's the previous, because that's with Krega. Because she was the first Badger Lord. She actually...
I thought Krega was from the Long Patrol.
I think Krega is so old. She raised this Lord Badger, and she also raised the Abbess. She's so old. She's older than dinosaurs. I can't believe she's still alive. That's why I was wondering, like, how long is a season?
Okay, how long do badgers live?
How long do badgers live?
Badger.
A badger's lifespan.
Life. Oh my god.
Not lifestyle, you muppet. Lifespan.
Badgers live for, in the wild, 4 to 5 years.
No. There's no way that was only 5 years.
Well, they give human lifespans, so...
Yeah, she was like 130. I swear. She was so old.
So anyway, let's wrap this up. We were going on, here we are. We're pushing 60 minutes and this is only part 1.
Well, hey, if we get all the long pauses, it'll be 5 minutes.
Anyway, wrap it up. Was it a good book?
Yes, I loved it.
Would you would recommend it for others to read?
Yeah, I mean...
I remember reading it a long time ago and liking it.
Would I watch the movie? I would watch the movie so many times if they made one.
If they made Taggerung, just Taggerung, movie,
I would watch it over and over and over.
Because it is, once you boil it down to its basic components, it is a beautiful story.
It is very good. There were some scenes that I would change, obviously, to make it more movie style. There were some scenes that I would never change at all. But yeah.
It's just a beautiful story.
It was a good book. I cried so many times. At the end. When Craiga died, I cried. When Danae came back, which was 3 pages later, I cried. When the story wrapped up and it ends with Danae, like, patting the shoulder of the scribe because he was still alive. When she finished the story, I cried again.
I'm getting teary-eyed just listening to this.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful story. Are you sad you didn't read it prior?
I mean...
Are you glad you read it now?
I'm glad I read it now, but I'm not really upset that I missed it because
it's books. You can always read. You can always read them.
I can always come back and read it again. But now that I have read it, I'm really glad.
Should we expect fan art from you on your DeviantArt? Should we expect fan art of you on your DeviantArt at Talia the Werewolf? That is WHAERE at deviantart.com.
I don't know, maybe. I'm not really a fan art person, but who knows? Pay me and I'll do it.
I just have this beautiful image of of Danae as a baby being taken from his family, and then it's it's Danae hugging his mother and sister, and like all his past events are like behind him in like they're silhouetted against his memories, and it's like home at last. Or finally home or something.
Yeah, something sweet like that.
Yeah, something beautiful. Who knows? That might be the background footage of this because I ain't animating sprites. God.
Yeah,
Unless someone... the only way I would animate sprites is if someone paid me to do it.
I ain't paying you. Anyway.
Whatever book. Background we decide for this, whatever.
Good book. Loved it.
Good series. Expect to hear more from Redwall because I read them a lot and I don't have very many other books that I've read that she hasn't, so expect a lot of Redwall. We're gonna be ranting and raving about it. Check out the Redwall series. Okay, last question though. Since Taggerung is part of a series, would you suggest it to someone who's never read a Redwall book?
No.
What book would you suggest?
Honestly, I would suggest Redwall first.
Right.
Just Redwall. And then, if they're hooked, I would point them to, like, Martin the Warrior.
Well, after Redwall, you should read Matameo, because that's the direct sequel.
That's the direct sequel. But if they start reading, they're like, who's this Martin guy? I'd be like, well, you gotta read this one, and then go to this one. Sure, it happens first, but it's just how you have to read it.
Yeah. So, we can't really, since we have these books in physical copies... We can't really recommend links to read the book, but...
I'm sure they have it on...
Well, maybe not Redwall, on, like, Audible or whatever. We're not sponsored by anybody, so I can't leave links to anything, but we can suggest this book. We can suggest this series. Links to all our social medias will be in the description. See me pointing at the imaginary description.
Yeah, I just see you pointing